Now to the former Wildcat, who is all decked out in red these days. We are talking about Vince Tyra, the interim athletics director at the University of Louisville.
That's right. He played baseball for the Kentucky Wildcats, but his father is Charlie Tyra. He was a legendary basketball player for the Cardinals. So did Vince Tyra see a lot of red growing up? He was hired by U of L after the very public firing of Tom Jurich.
Our Kent Spencer sat down with Tyra today for a one-on-one. And Kent, of course, anybody who comes after Jurich you would think might be a bit daunting.
I think you could say that. But, you know, Vince Tyra may have been the perfect person for the job. First, his family is like Louisville royalty, and he's had a great deal of success in the business world in and around this city. He's also living very much a dream. Vince Tyra has always been second fiddle in his family at the University of Louisville. His dad, Charlie, was the school's first All-American basketball player and has a banner hanging in the rafters. When did you realize when you were growing up that your dad was kind of a big deal?
My brother Terry did an art project over at St. X when he was in high school that Dad was the first cover boy for the first Street and Smith basketball magazine. And Terry took that and put it into an art project and hung it on the wall because Dad was incredibly humble. We just didn't have things hanging around. And it was really at that point I started digging around in the basement because I was the fourth of 5 kids and saw All-Star jerseys, Knicks jerseys, you know, Consensus All-Americans, Kodak, Converse, all those old brands and stuff that I realized that he's a big shot.
What takes his son to the University of Kentucky to play baseball?
We didn't have much of a program back then, and certainly didn't have the scholarships to offer at the University of Louisville. And because I was the top player in the state at that time, there was pretty significant offers to go to other schools, and I, with my scholarship offers, were heading up towards full rides at other schools. So I was looking to play in the SEC. And at that time, Mom and Dad were like, we're not going to drive to Oxford or Gainesville or someplace else to watch you play. Let's just go down the street, play Kentucky. And my dad said, I'll deal with all the grief I take for you playing down there. And as it turned out, I took all the grief. He took very little to this day.
With the rivalry set to resume on Saturday, one wonders how the dynamic works between an alma mater and the school he grew up and continues to support.
And I enjoyed my time there, but I think that, it's still quarantined to that time, that I spent my 4 years there. But I never lost my passion for being a Louisville fan, even while I was there, while they played each other. And I think, again, on Saturday, the same thing. I went Louisville to kick their butt.
Now he's no longer just a fan. Vince Tyra is leading Louisville athletics. He said his son probably described it best. It's surreal. On the job, Tyra says he's got a really good relationship with interim president Dr. Greg Postal.
We talk almost every day. That seems unusual to people. But you got to remember the things that that he's accomplished in helping the foundation and the university get back on its feet too. Should be applauded.
For Tyra and his family, it's important for Louisville athletics to be both clean and successful.
And I think the student athletes and coaches are crystal clear on my expectations about their work effort and that they bring and the conduct that they have.
Specifically clean and successful, that came from his mother, who obviously is a huge U of L fan, attends so many of the sporting events. Now, coming up tonight at 6, I talked to Vince Tyra about a number of issues, including the NCAA scandal, the FBI probe that really kind of cost Rick Pitino, Tom Jurich their jobs at the University of Louisville, and in and around that, the situation with Brian Bowen, Kenny Johnson, Vince Tyra's relationship with John Schnatter, and of course,
it's a good question.
Does he want the job full-time at the University of Louisville because he is the interim AD?
Speaking of Jurich, when I talked to him a few weeks ago, I asked him, had you talked to Vince Tyra? He said he really didn't know him and that he would not interfere, was not going to call him and offer him advice on how to run that job.
No, Vince Tyra and Mark Jurich, Tom Jurich's son, are the ones that were really, and still are, much closer than Vince and Tom were. Also, he's going to be a busy guy. He attends so many of these sporting events. Tonight, the University of Louisville.
Another one to go
19th ranked hosts Southern Illinois at the KFC Yum Center. Tip-off for that game is at 7 o'clock.
I thought interesting, though, that he's talking to Dr. Postal on a daily basis. That is a shift from the past.
Absolutely.
All right,
Big departure.
thanks, Kent.
All right, thank you, Kent.